Welcome back to the Modern Mystics. Mercury is in retrograde, and we're are here anyway.
No, it's all good. We're going to survive Mercury retrograde.
As we do, it goes multiple times a year, but sometimes the recording equipment and technological issues can come up, so we'll find out how fun it is to edit this later and see how much is going to actually record well.
Yes.
But, I mean, Shaylin's already had an issue with her entire computer.
My MacBook I've had since, 2013 is finally done.
R.I.P., man.
Multiple degrees, countries,
That's sad.
projects, businesses. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get any more files off of her. But yeah, It's like losing a buddy. We've been along for a ride for almost more than 10 years. Wow. So yes, but I feel like we're kind of lucky because you guys have been loving our social media stuff so much. So Mercury hasn't gotten to us yet.
Yeah.
But thank you for all the likes and our subscribers and everyone who's been following and commenting. The love has been really nice from the community. And we're just really happy and excited that people are responding to our project and what we want to put out there.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
I wanted to just mirror what Shaylin said, and also please help us keep getting the word out.
Yes.
So if you can, it really helps with the algorithm to comment very specifically. You can literally just comment in an emoji or comment like, I agree, or try this next time. We would love to hear more than just an emoji, though, from you. We would love to hear what kind of things you want us to talk about, topics, field trips. For example, we're going on a field trip today, kids.
Class, line up!
We're going to take you outside. We're going to go touch grass. And we're going to do some fun spell work. And we're going to teach you some spell work today.
Yes.
So, anyway, please do leave any kind of comments on questions that you may have about what we're going to do today. I'm just going to lead in with that because I might forget by the time we finish recording this.
Yes, we're excited if you can't tell.
Yes. And don't forget to please subscribe if this is your first time finding us. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. And yeah, so today I'm going to have Shaylin first start off with just discussing the history of candle magic in general, because we promised you that we would give you receipts and a little history lesson and a little bit of the why we're doing things. So I'm going to hand it off to Shaylin.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, so we both, I think, are little pyros inside. We both like a good candle spell. We're kind of known for it in the area we live in. Yeah. And we usually tie it into any kind of event or workshop we're doing. I remember in 6th grade getting in trouble for carving into candles instead, just for fun.
You're a long time pyro.
My mom did those party light parties. Do you remember that company from the 90s?
I do.
So she set me up real well with some candles,
That's
at least. Yeah. But candle magic is over 5,000 years old. Humans have been using fire to represent a lot of different sacred things or symbolize, overcoming something, power, strength. They also use fire to represent the speed of how fast something can work. There's even charmancy, which is candle magic, and just all over the world seeing the different uses is very interesting to me. And I know we love learning about cultures and just how people do things from all over. So to start, we're going to talk about the ancient Egyptians and Mesopotamians. Ooh. So the Mesopotamians dipped what was called a rush, which is a spongy plant, and they would dip it in animal fat and light that on fire, sometimes on sticks or just probably in some kind of vessel to use as a candle, flashlight. The Egyptians around 1400 BC started using beeswax candles. I know that you really like some of the Kemetic stuff, right?
Yeah. It's been an interest since I was a kid myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And both of those cultures and times would use it as a way to guide the spirit to the afterlife. Specifically with the Egyptians, they believed it would help you on your journey to the field of reeds. Uh-huh. Kind of like how in Greek mythology they call it the river of Styx.
Oh, wow.
The ancient Egyptians called it the field of reeds, which I really liked. I thought that was cool.
That's very poetic.
Yes, and it's called Seket Aru. If we are mispronouncing any of this or you know about these things, please share more, because that was something new I learned. And I was like, ooh, the field of reeds. I want to go there. That sounds better than a stick.
A little less dreary.
Yeah. Sounds a little more magical.
Yes, it does.
Yes. And the journey to there was called Duat. So I found that really fascinating because in, being a former Spanish teacher, I always had to teach kids about Dia de los Muertos. And a lot of candles are involved. I know in the Catholic upbringing you had. A lot of candles. Yeah. So
literally a candle lighter. There's like a child designated for that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tell me more. I don't know about that.
It's usually like the altar boy or altar girl.
Oh,
and
yes.
then literally their whole job is to prepare the altar.
I would have loved that. My little pyro self, I would have had so much, I get to light the candles.
Yeah. It was a special honor. I do remember that.
Wow, that's interesting.
I know.
Right.
So many candles and so many religions and so many cultures. Candles, fire, very important.
Yes, and there's even one we still do to this day that has ancient roots. A birthday candle. Blowing out a birthday candle comes from the Greeks and Romans.
No way.
Yeah, and we still do that to this day and send a little wish and you can't tell anyone. But it's just so everyday, normal that we don't realize the roots.
That's hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Birthday candles.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So I like to bring that up. I've done a couple events here or there at birthday parties. I know you have too. Mm-hmm. If I ever bring a candle spell or a ritual, I bring that up and people are always like, ooh, that's nice.
Wow.
Yes.
I just learned a lot in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And the Greeks and the Romans, as we know, had a huge pantheon, and so candles were used as offerings, but also used to honor the moon and the moon cycles. Mm-hmm. They were seen as protection to light in the temples. So I think that's kind of a nice special touch too, because there's something about cleaning your house and then lighting a candle at the end.
Literally,
it feels good.
My kitchen can't be finished until there's a candle lit. Yep, same.
Yes. Same. And then kind of more in medieval European times, we see kind of this emergence of using candles for divination, kind of what we think of as those witch hunt times in Europe. That was also mirrored here in the American colonies. So we see that kind of start to emerge. But I think some things that are forgotten is that there's also in folk Catholicism and in some Christian practices, a lot of these spiritual items added. For example, in my partner's culture, he's from Puerto Rico. They call it santeria, or some people in general just call it brujeria, just witchcraft. But santeria specifically, as well as voodoo and hoodoo. And I want to be clear, I know those are 3 different things. Those are 3 separate practices. Some of them are a bit more closed, which means you have to be invited or initiated.
Right. Or part of the culture.
Yes, from that background. So I think that is a beautiful practice, but I wouldn't necessarily just start to do that because that's not part of my culture.
Yeah, you'd have to have someone from the culture invite you and take you on an apprentice type thing.
Yes, absolutely. And if people say no, you have to honor that too. That's their ancestors, their community. I have to respect that.
Yeah, sure.
But there are, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this on social media, or people posting their spells, the big candles, the 7-day candles that say Road Opener or St. John. They have all kinds of very specific candles you can light for 7 days.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
Really? Yeah. I'll have to bring some, or maybe we'll add some maybe into the clips later.
Yeah.
But they're very specific, and I like them a lot. So I will use those sometimes because I've seen people from all kinds of practices using those. Yeah. But specifically voodoo, hoodoo, and santeria, it's a very pillar thing from what I understand.
Like fire magic or fire candles. In
Yes.
spirituality, it's a pillar.
Yes.
Of their religion.
Definitely.
That's
and a lot of we hear people talking about sigils, right?
Yes.
A lot of that comes from voodoo and hoodoo as well. Drawing, because you had to be a little more incognito.
Yeah.
Those practices are mixed with, the African diaspora, so you couldn't practice openly.
Yeah.
And so sigils were a way to be more under the radar of the people kind of paying attention. And I think too that could kind of add to the power of it, a little bit of secrecy. They don't know, they just think this is a pretty little mark or something. So a lot of people carve those into candles. I know we do sometimes too. Or even just names, things like that. I know you'll talk more about that later. And then also in Buddhism, usually there's a candle lit alongside incense and flowers. And I did have the honor to go to Thailand last year, and I saw that in action. I just thought it was going to be incense everywhere. But there were these adorable little yellow beeswax candles everywhere. And you could light them to honor the Buddha, or we went to a specific altar that was meant to pray for health-related things. So I put on there some things that I had hoped, and I lit it, and even the people at the temple were like, "Oh, that's nice you carved on it. That's really different."
Really?
Yeah. Wow. But they were cool with it. They didn't, I asked and everything. And
oh my gosh, so many Buddhist cultures and practicing groups of people, they're just so open to that.
Really?
Oh my gosh,
Aww.
yeah. The fact that they would, I visited a Buddhist monastery 2 years ago, which is just like an active community over in like pretty far away from where we are, like an hour plus from where we are in the Northwest. But they let people come for free and stay and practice with them and learn from them. As long as you have a good background check and you've been vetted through, talking and, because they got to stay safe.
Yeah, you have to be cautious.
But oh my gosh, they'll take anyone from any religion. And if you just want to learn how to meditate, they'll just teach you how to do that. Like they'll share their food with you. And everywhere that they would practice, there was a candle. There was some kind of like offering. And exactly what you described is what I witnessed as well. And they were on this like 100-acre compound. It was so cool.
Yeah, I saw parts of that in Thailand too.
Really?
Just the care. I know we'll have a whole Buddhism episode,
yes,
I'm sure. But yeah, just seeing the spiritual everywhere and the care everywhere was something that I was like, man, I wish we could experience this in the U.S. Just this genuine reciprocal care and just the way they honored certain things. Oh, I don't want to say too much because it will be so good for an episode later.
Yes.
But yes, it was so beautiful.
Yes. And we have to honor Buddhism in general, at least for me, because that was my walk into spiritual anything.
Of course.
Buddhism. So we'll go on that later.
Yes.
But let's get back to some candle magic.
And then, so the 18th and 19th century, so 1700s, 1800s, whaling, it was such a big thing that in some parts of, the US and Europe, whale fat candles became a thing, which then eventually during that same time period led to the development of paraffin wax, which made like Victorian era, we imagine candles everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why. It's because all of a sudden it was affordable for everybody to have candles.
So candles were way probably more expensive than they are now. They were way more revered as like something special taken from animals or taken.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I thought that was interesting how the Industrial Revolution also made candles more accessible. And how when we imagine, like Wuthering Heights and Dracula and all these kind of movies from that time period.
And they are out right now, let me tell you.
Yes.
Like, suddenly we're all there.
Yes. And there's candles everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's so interesting.
We're on par with the cultural shift of that time period, I guess. Yeah. Doing candles today.
Yeah, I was like, okay, candles. Nice. And then, we kind of lead into the more modern era. I think we wouldn't be, historical if we didn't talk about the 90s witch era. the resurgence of all that stuff.
You mean, what's the movie? Practical Magic.
Practical Magic, The Craft.
It's like the one movie that I think of.
Yeah.
90s witch.
That whole like Whimsigoth era, candles became really popular as a way to do discreet magic.
Yeah.
One video I had watched researching this, and we'll include it in our works cited down below. She was talking about how in the 90s, like, some people had a computer, some people didn't, but you couldn't, like, especially in our part of where we live, you couldn't go to the library and just be looking up those things. And so little magic books became really popular in that time because you could, like, share it and your friend could sneak it home and take a peek. And so having a candle as a spell was a very discreet way to be able to do magic and practice. I think especially in that time it was more Wicca based and called specifically more the craft.
More pagan.
Yeah, like be able to do the craft at home without your parents knowing kind of thing. And I think even now we're seeing a really big resurgence of that and a new shift of that because it is very affordable. You don't need to buy super expensive homemade candles from artisans. You can, of course,
you can
support
if you can
that.
afford it. It's gonna have good energy in it.
Yes, for sure. But you can go to Dollar Tree and just pick up a couple candles, or even I know we've done quick little candles with birthday candles that take a couple minutes to burn up. So it is very accessible and affordable. And I'm really excited for this field trip.
Yes.
So just really quick, without any juicy details, kind of what are we going to be doing when we go outside?
So we're going to do 2 spells. We're going to do something you've probably heard of before because we wanted to kind of address the elephant in the room. When people think of candle magic, they think of a cord cutting. So I'm going to be showing you how to do a cord cutting in a very ethical way. Don't worry, you're not going to be getting any negative energy coming back at you. It's not something you need to worry about if you take the steps that we're going to teach you to protect yourself. It is very psychologically helpful to do cord cuttings with people in your life, especially if they've been crossing boundaries, mistreating you, and I would suggest, and I'll talk about this as when we go out, I would suggest if you're going to choose someone and you're going to try this, make sure it's someone that is not really actively in your life anymore. Someone that isn't someone you have to see every day, if that makes sense. Like, say you're having to go and see an ex and they're at school with you every single day. That relationship, as much as it's ended, you're still having to physically run into them and deal with that, and you can see a lot of energetic reverberations that come after cord cuttings, and it might be more distressing for you than them to have to see them after doing something like that. So my only suggestion is if you're doing a cord cutting with someone, make sure you've done all the psychological work, all the emotional work. This is not something that we do to get over someone. This is something that we do to end the energetic connection because it has finished. We are completely done. And the cord cutting that I'm going to be doing today is not going to be the first time I've done a cord cutting with this ex of mine. I don't need to do it. I'm doing it to show you what the energy is going to look like. But this has been psychologically, emotionally, physically, in every way. This has been for over a decade. And this is something that I have I will never see this person again. And if I do, it will be a surprise at this point. But it's something that it's not going to cause me any emotional distress to do. So I highly encourage you, if it is distressing to imagine ending a relationship or not having an energetic connection with someone, don't do it. Just don't do it. We're not using this as a way to get over things. We're using this as a way to emotionally and spiritually and physically be moving on from this energetic connection, because energetically, ties can continue beyond after you already have set the boundaries, moved on, emotionally moved on, and done all the work. Those connections can still sit there, and that can show up just in your subconscious as simply having dreams about them over and over again, or having a reminder of this one moment, and it keeps coming up and it keeps causing you emotional distress to imagine, even though you've done the work, you've gone through it, and you don't know why it's showing up. It could be just simply they're tugging on your energy and you're tugging back, and it's just going over and over again, and sometimes we just need to release that.
Yes, and I think too, it's also important to remind ourselves sometimes the spell will work great, Sometimes it won't.
Yep.
I had that come up about 2 weeks ago. I tried to do a cord cutting for a coworker of mine who just ended a 26-year relationship.
Wow.
And the 2 candles burned completely clean around the cord. The cord didn't burn at all. And then I tried to light the cord on fire, and usually it's spark. I mean, it's plant fibers.
I wish I could have seen that.
It wouldn't burn. And so I was just like, oh, well, that's a first.
That's not happening. It's
but
just
that's
not happening.
okay. Even I had to remind myself, and we've done a ton of them. So it's okay whatever happens with them too, because that just means you need to revisit it down the road.
Yeah, it's just not ready.
Yeah.
That's okay. Sometimes there are karmic things, depending on what you believe in. Sometimes there are like past life things that are coming up. There's just stuff that gets in the way, and if you're not meant to do it, you're not meant to do it. That's okay too.
Yes.
But you're not going to be punished by the energy or by spirit or anyone for doing it wrong, for messing it up. So just know that don't have fear with this. It's even though there's literal fire being involved.
You just need a bigger, better candle.
Yes.
You gotta go candle shopping. No,
yes.
I'm kidding.
Yes. So I'm going to show you the typical way you would do that energetic disconnection with a person, and then Shaylin is going to show you how you can do an energetic disconnection with a cord cutting spell with a past version of yourself.
Yes.
We want to show you there's more than one way to use candle magic or cord cutting. And in general, you can believe in absolutely none of this, okay? You can believe none of this works, but psychologically, this can still be beneficial for you to try something like this, because your brain, when you're sitting and doing something that is brand new to you, and you have these intentions of, I no longer want to think about this person, or I no longer want to run into them anymore, I emotionally have done the work, I need to move on from this version of myself that's holding me back, which is something that we'll be experiencing with this other one. When your brain is doing something as interesting as a ritual or what seems magical to you, even if you're not believing in the magic, it still can make a psychological difference in the way that you view this relationship or your past or whatever you're working to disconnect from. It still makes a difference for you in the synapses of your brain. It's telling your brain this is something special to focus on, and it helps you kind of process through that a little bit better and a little bit faster. So regardless of if you believe you're actually doing anything inside of magic or inside of energy work, it still is going to be almost like going and doing like a deep dive journaling, where you're going to be processing things are going to come up. During the spell, things can come up, regardless if you believe in the spell or not, that are going to be mirroring the things that you've gone through either with this person or with this past version of yourself. And it's going to be healing, but it's also going to be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, it can be, and I think the self-care after spell work is important too, making sure that you set aside a good amount of time to do that.
It can take a while to burn
too. Or like, I like how you said it's like journaling, because sometimes I know some people who will burn their candle spell and they'll journal as it burns, or people will dance, but just making sure you take care of yourself after, give yourself time to rest, or go for a walk, go to yoga, or whatever makes you feel kind of recharged and reset too, I think is also a part of this. And yeah, I'm excited for my candle spell. I just turned 30 last October, and so I'm a few months into being in my 30s and just kind of letting some of that past stuff go. I'm ready.
Another Saturn retrograde version of you,
right?
Yes,
it's done!
Yeah.
Huzzah!
Yes, moving into another 30 years of life.
Yes, which is exciting. So yeah, I can't wait to get out there and put some things on fire. Okay. Yes, we are going to be safe too. So please make sure that you aren't just doing this like on the floor of your apartment or something.
No, we're going outside for a reason.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go on a field trip.
Line up, kids.
All right, see you out there. Hello.
Hi.
We're on a field trip.
We made it. The bus has arrived and we're on our field trip.
Yes, welcome to my greenhouse.
Yes.
We'll give you a tour another day. But today,
you might hear some chickens too, but they're part of the modern mystics as well.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, show them your chicken tat.
Oh yeah,
chicken lady.
See, I'm like dressed up today, but I'm also like always a chicken mom.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yes. So we are going to just get started with some of our candle spell stuff. So typically when you are getting your space ready for this kind of work, you want to cleanse the space in some way.
So here's an option. This is sage. Lots of different sage works for cleansing.
There's also bundles of like cedar, juniper, lavender.
This is another option.
This is Palo Santo, which is a sacred wood from South America. We do make sure that we buy these from ethical vendors who have relationships with the communities who grow and harvest these things, because we don't want to buy from like a mass-produced company that might not have the best practices.
Yeah.
So we try to order from companies and shop from them that have a relationship with the people who do this work.
Yes.
So usually I just kind of light mine, and a lot of people believe that once you light it and get the smoke going, that going counterclockwise can be cleansing. But honestly, whatever feels good to you. So I might take my candle and smoke cleanse the candles. You know, there could be energy of the people working at the store on there. Might want to...
We just want to start energetically from scratch, and if you are along on this journey, understanding that, you know, energy is real and it's there whether you believe in it or not, then know that anybody's emotional state when they're holding items and things like that can transmute into physical things. So that's kind of the idea behind it, is that we're cleansing it so that we're starting from scratch inside of a spell work that has to do with emotional cleansing.
Yes, and you can also cleanse yourself a little. You know, I kind of had a busy morning. Cleanse yourself. And then tell us about these eggshells, your magical eggshells.
So I brought two options. So usually you want to start with some kind of a base. A base that is going to be like a protective circle or layer for candle magic. The typical you've probably heard of is just like salt of any kind, literally. And what I took was some old salt that had like expired that I'd kind of forgotten about. And then I put it inside of my more witchy cabinetry to be used for spells, because it doesn't matter if it's expired. It just matters that it's salt, the components of salt. And we're not tasting it, so it doesn't really matter if it's kind of lost its flavor. But my favorite is to use eggshells as a base. Crushed up eggshells. I'm not really sure about the cultural significance. It might be something that you're aware of, but I'm sure in some cultural practices they've used eggs in some. I mean, eggs are a very spiritual thing in general.
Yeah.
But I've kind of intuitively leaned into eggshells because I have my girls that we were just mentioning. I have backyard chickens, and so I crush up my eggshells and dry them and use them as a base for a lot of spells. So
and that's just something you throw away normally.
Yes.
So it keeps it very sustainable and affordable.
It is very pretty because I have an Easter egger and lots of other, like, you can't probably see, but there's like blue in there and stuff. So it makes a pretty base. So what would you like for your base? I'm going to do eggshells.
I think I'll use up the last of this salt. I prefer to do salt. You can also, when you're not doing just a candle spell, I like to leave little dishes of salt or eggshells around the house to kind of absorb any negative energy, or you can leave it on the floor and then sweep up the energy to kind of refresh your house.
So I like to spread it out fully, so it's just kind of a base even layer. Some people like to draw like a circle or something. Oh, you can't really see. There we go. Or put a space where the candles are going to be. I'm actually going to make a little bit of a hole so it's kind of like a circle, because we're going to be sticking the candles down with wax on the space, and it won't stick very well like if it's sticking to salt or eggshells. Yes. Let's use, I just realized I forgot the pen, but we can use this to write into her. Yes.
Yeah, we've used little pens or carving tools to carve what you want in here. So I am doing a cord cutting for my past self. So on the white one, you know, whatever feels good to you. On the white one, I think I'm gonna put some habits from my past and just things that I have done the work for and then moving into a new chapter from on this one. And the things I'm trying to call in the new chapter of my life, I'll carve on this one.
So before we carve, do you want to, actually after we carve, so I'll wait. You want to carve first, then we'll talk essential oils, because I realize if you're carving, you'll just get oils all over your hand. So, okay, I'll let you do that first. I'm going to show my crystal while you do that, and then you can talk the other crystals that you have used. This is black tourmaline. Because I'm doing a cord cutting with a person, specifically an ex-romantic partner, this is the kind of crystal that I would suggest having around if you believe in crystal magic and crystal energy. It is a complete just negative blocking crystal, and it's a pretty big baddie right here. Look at him. He's very helpful. I've used him in a lot of different workshops and ceremonies and rituals and things. And it's just that very, like, you know, black is really just a protector energy.
Super protective. Yeah.
He's my big hunk of help.
Yeah. And then I don't have one here, but a lot of really good crystals for like self-transformation. I would suggest adding labradorite, or even rose quartz is really good for self-love. If you are kind of limited on the crystals or rocks you can use, even just going on a walk in your neighborhood and finding a pretty rock you like could work too. It doesn't have to be super shiny, just whatever works for you. A lot of people use the crystals or rocks with candle magic because it adds an element of earth to it, which kind of grounds the spell or the ritual. And there's so much these days too. You can look up pretty much any crystal online with and put like topaz spiritual properties, and it will pull up what it means, where it's used, where it's from. You could also, a really good one to have if you're a beginner or kind of limited for funds, is clear quartz. Just a quartz crystal. You can use that for just about anything, and they're beautiful, and it's one of the most abundant crystals on earth, so you can get it pretty much anywhere.
We find clear quartz all the time at our lake cabin every summer, and it's nice to kind of like, ooh, I'm getting shavings all over me. It's nice to get a little you know, some new pieces every year from the places that you like to visit. If there's like a place by the water or by a river or something, you'll probably find a clear quartz crystal or something like it there. So they're pretty abundant all over, especially if you're in the PNW, man.
Yes.
I'm gonna close this because the loud children playing outside.
Yeah, one of my favorite black rocks actually is from my family's property up by the barn where you've been. And
really?
It's just this smooth, black, solid black stone that's been smoothed by the creek. And when I hold it, I feel just so calm, and I feel like I'm there, kind of just sitting on the little bridge there. So
cool.
Use what's around you.
Yes.
And especially if it calls to you, I think that makes the intention you're putting into this so much more powerful. And because you've taken the time to connect and find that rock, it's going to be more powerful with the intentions that it brings into this work as well. How are your carvings coming?
Good. So I like to do, when I'm doing any kind of cord cutting of any kind with a person or energy or whatever, I'll write my name and I'll put my full name, and sometimes it's helpful to even put your birth date on there. And then I put the anonymous person in question, and I'm not going to show the name. Just in case they're watching us, I don't need them to feel weird, because like I said, this is for teaching and nothing more, because it's been a very long time. But anyway, I still remember this person's birth date, because I'm that kind of romantic partner that I'll remember the little details. And so I put their birth date and their name, their full name, on the other one. And like I said, the intention of when you're doing this with a person, the intention is not to like send ill will or send negative energy their way. The intention is just to sever the cord. Just simply, your energy is no longer affecting me. Mine is no longer affecting you. We're moving on. It's like ultimate move
boundary.
On. Exactly. Yeah. Setting boundaries so that we're not being emotionally affected by each other, because sometimes that can happen.
Yes.
So yeah, Shaylin just did that perfectly. It's easy to get things to sit well by just simply lighting the bottom, getting it a little bit waxy, and having it stick there.
And kind of holding it as the wax dries helps too.
Yep.
You just want to make sure your candles are inside the protection circle that you've made.
Yep. Let it dry before it moves. There we go.
Very nice.
And now we're gonna make the cord. It's easiest for burning purposes if you use just like regular twine. You don't want to make it too long, or it's gonna be a really hard, long cord cutting.
Yeah.
So I'm simply gonna see how much I'm gonna need. Not very much. There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's easier to tie it before you put them down, so I might knock these over accidentally, and that'll be just fine. We'll just, what does Bob Ross say? We'll have happy little accidents, and we'll move forward. Doesn't really matter.
Yes.
There's no, like, total right or wrong way to do this. I'd say the only wrong way would be to have negative intentions and harm in mind. That would be the wrong way to do it, because we're not ever going to teach that. So you're just going to do a simple knot so that it can stay together. It doesn't have to be like double or triple or anything. I'm doing a double knot so that it doesn't come apart.
Yeah.
But Shaylin just did a little simple guy. And it's hot in here and we're about to do candles, so I'm going to open the door.
Yes, and safety is important.
Oh yeah, show them your safety stuff.
She teases me, she calls me Safety Officer Shaylin.
But
But I'm here for it. Safety is number one. So it is, you don't need to go this far, but if you're going to be doing fire magic, it might be good to have this or like some kind of fire safe vessel to do this in.
I like to have these with me. These are just like long tongs to pick it up if it gets really hot. And then we got that, and we got water. We're ready. We're ready for it. But we're going to add a little element that you don't have to add. We're literally ready to go if we wanted to start right now. But I want to add some eucalyptus oil to my spell. And I'm specifically going to add it to my candle because I want the intention. I think eucalyptus is more of like it pierces through with clarity. That's what I understand eucalyptus to be as a medicinal plant. It's very good with that. So I'm going to put it on only my candle because, I don't really care if this person has clarity or not. The idea is that I'm going to have all the clarity I need to sever this energetic connection and move forward. So it's not negative to not give it to the other person, but it's okay to say this is a spell for me and I'm going to do something good for me through this spell. Just add a little something. So I'm just going to put a couple drops on my hand. A little bit goes a very long way. I'm going to figure out which one is me, which is this guy, and I'm just going to rub a little bit on there. And it's probably also wise to do this before you sever them on here, but hey, it's not coming off, so we're good. We're just adding a little oil, and remember, kids, fire safety wise, if you're adding oil, you're adding a different element to the fire, so it's going to burn a little different if you're adding oil or any kind of thing to it. Okay, a little bit's enough. You don't need a lot. Are you going to add anything?
I am adding sweet orange. So on my old self candle, I put a lot of my just like emotions I have felt in the past regarding like my childhood and the growth I've had to do on the candle for me kind of going forward. And the new me, I'm gonna add this sweet orange because it's really good for happiness, energizing, and bringing kind of that sweet motivation for those things I'm trying to call in during my 30s. So I'm gonna try to dab it on and see. There we go. And some people, I've even seen folks who will like carve something and then they add a little oil and they'll add ground up herbs into the carving. So you can, as you develop this, have fun with it and add more as it feels good and as you feel called as well.
Yeah, I am such a big advocate of inside of any practice you're doing, as long as there's good intention behind it, add whatever you want. Like if we were feeling called, we would be singing right now. Like if that's something that felt like it was the right thing to do, you can add song, you can add music. I really highly suggest adding music. If you've seen any of my shorts online and stuff, I've already made a video about that actually. There's literally a song by Shinedown called Cut the Cord. Highly suggest using it. I'm not threatening you, by the way. I'm just pointing this at you guys right now. I'm like talking. Anyway, we're going to start burning this, and then we're going to put this on, what's the video called where you speed it up.
Yeah.
So you don't have to sit here and watch this, because this can take like 20-30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're just going to let it go, and we'll pause and talk to you as we see the action happening.
Yeah.
So we're going to take you down from here, and you're going to see the action, man. Are you ready? Here,
I
you
am
want to go
ready.
first?
Sure.
Okay.
And also, like, you don't have to do this the way we are either. Sometimes I like to speak out what I'm asking. Some people believe you really have to say and focus. And I also learned from Hector, actually,
Oh, yeah.
that you can also take 3 deep breaths and blow your breaths on the candles to add your energy.
Oh, let's do that now.
Yeah? Okay, let's try it.
So,
All right.
I like to do that to my tarot deck to infuse it, so that
Yes.
immediately calls me.
Good. And then I might, depending on what you feel called to, I feel called to kind of speak it out loud.
Okay.
So
You go first.
I call upon my guides, ancestors, and the divine enlightened spirits around me to help sever my past guilt and shame and just all the trauma I've had to work through and do years of EMDR for. I had to do the work too, but I'm releasing just all the negative emotion I associate with having to do that work. And I am calling in happiness and healing and love and connection and community.
So mote it
So
be.
mote it
I love that. Okay. My intention with this cord cutting spell is to not only teach, but to continue to sever the already severed connection energetically with this person of my past. This person was an influential part of my past a very long time ago. And with love and light, I let this person go. And also energetically reclaim all of my light back from that time, from that past, and from that relationship, so that I may be whole and he may be whole.
Yes.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.
We got some action.
The cord has started to burn.
And we're gonna watch it. Oh, look at it severing.
And
Oh, that is a clean
Boom.
cut. Look at, okay, so try to zoom in. Look at, we got wax going and we've got smoke coming out. That is something to pay attention to. Shaylin, what are you feeling? A lot of, when we're doing these spells, what we're feeling is important intuitively.
I feel like it is working, and when I look at this, I can see like that last little bit of my past self holding on, but it's gonna
Look at
it's
that.
gonna let go.
I mean, like, what? Like,
Yeah.
it's holding on by the wrist. Shaylin, you guys are basically holding by the pinky.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And then meanwhile, Kelsey's
Mine's going strong.
it's chilling, right? So everyone's has a different reaction.
I've never seen the wick hold on to the rope before. Are we serious? Which one's the past self?
the white.
The white. Oh my gosh. It's forming a, like, bridge. It just got... I would call that drama. Oh, look at the way. So where the wax pools is something you need to watch as well. I would consider that an extremely positive sign, because not only is there a strong base for her past self, but she's also, like, her past self, the things I would say positively that maybe she learned, is still helping support and base her in her reality now. So I would see that as very positive, because a very strong foundation. But I can see that currently, Shaylin, from a psychological perspective, you might be holding some of that past stuff on you still.
Yes.
That would
for
be how that's
sure.
kind of showing up.
Yes.
Because she took on, as you see this candle, took on the weight of that cord, and her past self has technically let go. So if the goal was to let go and leave your past self like a little bit freer, you've helped yourself in the past, and in the now, you're burning that cord from what you had to deal with back then. You've released that burden. That's showing.
Yay!
Physically, it's showing. I mean, what a strong burn. That's crazy. I'm using my little pointer.
I love it.
And look at how, like, she is just sovereign by herself in the past, her version, clean, lifted weight. You've just obviously taken on a lot now in this version of yourself, and that's okay. We gotta clear it out eventually.
Yes,
right?
We do.
And I would say probably, likely, the reason why you couldn't in the past take on and burn this is because it was too much. You were in survival mode. You had too much going on. So you now are strong enough to take that burden. And so your higher self said, you're strong enough. Let's do it now.
Yep.
Wow. What a fast burn we had. Sometimes it takes a very long time, even once we start burning that cord, to see things really move. But this is a fast burn. It's clean. This is a very well-working spell, I would say.
Ooh, yay.
What would you say, Shaylin? What does it feel like?
I have felt kind of the same thing, just because, like, the last couple months I've had some stuff come up that I need to work on. So it makes sense that my candle from now is just really strong, because I'm feeling a lot from that time in my life. So I would completely agree.
We've got some smoke happening up here.
See up here.
Wow.
The smoke, which some people believe is like negativity burning away.
Wow, look at that. It's burning still, that cord.
And that makes sense that the cord, like, it got let go by past me. Now it's on new me to finish severing that.
Exactly.
And to let it burn.
You're strong
away
enough now.
Yeah.
Also, notice how the cord is not touching the candle. It's like you're distancing yourself with boundaries from the baggage.
Ooh. Okay, so we just moved Kelsey's candles, and the cord is starting to burn.
Yes, on, let's see, whose side is this? My side. I'm here. The other person's here. And there's literally wax dripping in between us as a divide. Very, very interesting.
And your little part of the cord right
I'm burning the
there
cord.
He is not to burn.
He is not burning it whatsoever. And I'm burning it, and then the wax is dripping down, and I'm literally creating a barrier between us. Crazy.
About to catch, like,
Oh, on the side. Oh, it's severing.
And it's severing.
That was crazy.
Hell yeah.
I've never seen it snap. Ever.
Really?
No, I've never seen it snap like that.
Wow. See, and this is why it's important to have a fire safe thing to do this on, because it will burn for a while.
Burn, baby,
burn!
Look at that. It's so dramatic. Not me protecting myself with the wax dripping before it just went. What are you getting, Shaylin? What do you see?
I see that too, and I feel like you have this power behind you, essentially, like keeping that boundary with the wax strong.
Wow. The actual tie is on fire right now. The cord itself,
wow.
The way it's in a knot, on fire still. So we've made the executive decision that we're both going to blow our candles out before the spell has finished. That is a decision that you can make every time you do candle magic, especially if you feel like you're in danger and you need to actually blow it out. It's okay. You're not going to ruin your energy, your work, nothing. It's okay to do that. I'm making the decision. Yours is kind of moving right now a little bit. I'll share why I'm making the decision. So you'll see in the time lapse, my candle over here just kind of went to bed. Just kind of a little bit ago. So what I understand is the fact that his candle is still burning and this cord is still burning, just like a candle. It means that he's going to be pretty stubborn about this connection. I don't really care. Obviously, my candle has already snuffed itself out. So in that energy sequence, I'm going to finish the spell and say, like, I'm good. I'm done with whatever energy plays out is not mine to hold. And so I don't even need to watch it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to, with Love and Light, go ahead and snuff mine out without blowing yours out too. Oops. And now we're going to have Shaylin. Any thoughts on why you want to blow yours out?
Well, my past former self burned first, but she kind of burned this, as Kelsey pointed out earlier, this beautiful like hug of protection around it. And she let go of the cord, and now it's like burning in me now, which kind of confirms what's been coming up the last few months. Like, I have some inner healing to do in regard to that, with the fact that it's like burning and it's so strong, and there's like this ring of protection of wax around it. That makes me feel like it might be intense, but I have the support and protection and love around me to do that and to handle that and go in and do the inner work, the shadow work, whatever you want to call it. So with Love and Light, I release these intentions into the universe.
Yours was so much more graceful. Good job.
All right, and when you're done with your spell, the way you dispose of the items is also beneficial. Sometimes, like if I do an egg Olympia, I'll just flush it down the toilet. But in this case, a candle probably isn't good to do with that. What do you do with your candle spells, Kelsey?
Well, I let the wax completely finish because it'll be hot, so cooling. And then I'll take something sharp and scrape it off, maybe like a toothpick or something, off of whatever surface that I'm using. If I put it inside of something disposable, I'll just throw the whole thing away. But I'll typically take all of it. Excuse me, I won't put it in my regular garbage. I'll put it in like my outside garbage so that energy isn't like sitting in my house.
Lingering in
and
the
as
house.
I'm putting it in there, I'll put it in there, and then I'll like won't necessarily watch it go in there, just kind of like get it off there. I'll check the plate or whatever I'm scraping to make sure it's come off, but kind of just give it a little bit like I'm good. It's just not mine anymore, and then look away when I close the garbage bin.
I like that. Yeah,
that's what I do.
I know some people who have like, once they do that too, they'll wash their hands really well and like visualize the energy leaving.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of has their own way.
Yeah.
But you can add intention to the disposal of your spells as well.
Yep. Hello, welcome back.
Hey.
We're back from our field trip.
That was a lot of fun.
It was.
No one got lost. Good job, guys.
Nothing burned down.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I really like that. I feel like mine and just how it burned and played out, I feel very reassured that I'm doing the work and it's going to work out fine. And even though like my past self will always be a part of me, I get to like heal and become a higher part of myself in a way from reflecting on that time in my life.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It really showed to me the scientific theory that time is not linear through that burning of that candle. And I just kept thinking like we really are living our current lives, our past lives, and our future lives all together at once, because it's not going boom, boom, boom. So you really helped out your past self, and we're strong enough now to take on some of those burdens, and I think it's only going to help the evolution of your soul.
Oh, well, thank you. That's so sweet.
And
yours was interesting too.
Mine played out how I thought it would.
The cord, though, that was kind of different.
The fact that the cord burned as its own like third party candle for a while, and in that relationship, there were some third parties that kind of came and went throughout those years, but that. Like I said, water under the bridge, and clearly showed through my candle just kind of went to sleep at the end. I'm not sure if you'll see it with because we did time lapse, so it might be fast going down, but for us, when we witnessed it, it was just kind of like the wick just went just like went to bed. It was just night.
Yeah. And it was like that person and the cord kept burning, and
just burned and burned.
Kind of like gracefully removed yourself.
So bowed out, literally bowed out. That's a good way to put it. It bowed down. Just like, I'm good. So that is one way that cord cuttings can go for people. Often the person doesn't want to release or has no interest in, and that's okay. Like, the point is to release the energy tie. So if I've done it, it's enough. It's enough for me.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And sometimes when especially if you do this for something really specific, like I had someone call me the other day. They were like, "You're my spell hotline." And they were like, "I need to get into this school. What can I do?" And I told them, after explaining some options, like one of the best things you can do is just trust that whatever is meant to happen and carry out from that spell work will happen. Mm-hmm. It's meant to, but you still have some control over your life as well and have to put in the work too.
Yep.
But I think there's something to be said about not worrying about what you are trying to get too much as well.
Mm-hmm. Toxic overthinking does not help at all.
For sure. And you can just kind of leave it to the universe.
Yes. Yes. Release it. Release some of that energy.
Yes.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about candle magic, fire, the history, the cultural pieces, and just kind of some basic starters of how to do it for yourself.
Yes. And it really is a good tool, like you said, for the psychological and the spiritual, and we were just so happy to get crafty and check out the greenhouse, and there will be lots of more fun things coming as we enter spring and summertime in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, we're going to take you out, not just in my literal basement. We're going to go beyond my basement, and we're going to go out to water places and just different places for different things. We're going to take you all over.
Yes, so be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yes, I guess we didn't mention it last time. We have an Instagram as well, and we'll post sometimes little pieces of our life on like the story section, but in general you'll see little like stitch videos of different events that we're doing and things like that.
Yeah, we have one tomorrow even. So literally. I'm so excited to be under the full moon with you tomorrow.
A full moon. It'll be very fun. Yes. So yes, please like, share, subscribe, comment, let us know how you like this video, and let us know what kind of topics you want to explore with us.
Or how your candle spells went. We want to hear how it went. You can post pictures too, right? In the comments. Sure. Yeah, please show us. We want to see and learn too. So, we'll see you soon.
Okay, until next time, take care.
Bye.